Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm a Master SoulPath Teacher and Guide. And today's reading, we are going to open the space for messages to come through from higher guidance. So this is a strongly channeled reading. Now, when I'm doing these kind of readings, I don't really worry about who it's coming from because to me, the message is more important. So if you're feeling drawn to watch this reading, there's going to be something meaningful and important for you. It may be specific, it may be more broad or more kind of deep rather than right there, but it's still going to be meaningful. Okay, we'll start with the middle two cards. King of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles. Both of these cards are talking about the relationship between inner and outer wealth, inner and outer poverty, and understanding that there is a connection between how we feel on the inside and what we receive on the outside. And I do feel like this message is about being careful not to sell yourself short. Being careful not to... Are you telling yourself that you don't deserve certain things, or that you're incapable of receiving certain things, or that you don't deserve to ask for certain things? That it would be too forward or too presumptuous or just too big, too impossible. King of Pentacles says anything is possible, but beliefs have to be aligned with intention. Belief, intention, and then belief again in the manifestation. And let me get a little bit more granular with that. Your intention for something, asking for something, needs to be aligned with as high vibration as you can. Okay, and that means either it's going to bring joy to you or joy to someone else, or that you feel like your life would be better or enhanced by it, by its presence, or it's just something you're curious about and you'd like to experience. Now, notice I didn't say need or lack or isn't there. Like, I need to have this because I don't have it now, or I need to have this because I'm not complete unless I have it. Those are lower vibration intentions. Or I need to have this so I can get back at someone, or I need to have this so I don't have to live in fear. No, you choose to live in fear in every single moment. And the King of Pentacles says, yes, anything on the earth is possible. If you see someone else having it, it's possible. If you are dreaming about it and you want it really badly inside, it is possible. So that's belief. That's intention and belief. Now, I already forgot what I said before, so I'm just going to keep going. So, we need to start there. We need to look back at what we're holding on to. Is there part of us that believes that we don't really deserve what we're asking for, or that it's impossible to get what we're asking for? What's blocking us from receiving what we're asking for? That is the big question here, because King of Pentacles, it's all there. It's totally there. And not only is it there, it's there for you and for other people too. Manifesting it for yourself doesn't take it away from someone else, because in an expansive universe like the one we have, everything is possible for everyone, depending on what beliefs you want to hold on to. There's a lot of debate that we could have with, but certain people in certain circumstances, they can't have, or they don't seem to be able to manifest themselves out. It's because the desire is not strong enough. And the beliefs, because of what is reinforced every day from what they see, from what people tell them, what they choose to keep believing, can't manifest your way out of that. You have to be willing to manifest your way out, and that means temporarily disconnecting from the reality around you, the reality, shifting into that, whether you want to call it the quantum or the ethereal or the realm of possibilities, and believing that could happen as strongly as you believe reality can happen, that other space, the realm of possibilities can happen as well. I think I read something a long time ago about Nicki Minaj, and she had a really terrible childhood, but she would always was dreaming of castles and dreaming of rescuing her and her mother and buying a castle for herself. And somehow that strong desire led her on a path that manifested her way out of those circumstances so she could help her mother as well. And so it is possible. We see stories all the time. Okay, I feel like this next message is going to be a little challenging, so just bear with me. Okay, we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the High Priestess, we also have the Sun. And okay, where are we starting with this? Where are we going with this? Can you release your disillusionment? Can you release your disillusionment with either the world or how something is or how a relationship went or a judgment you're making about the world? The Queen of Swords is asking you to come by or come to more clarity of thought. But the ego is so hurt or so broken or so, again, when I say disillusioned, that there's a strong degree of cynicism going on where it's kind of like you've lost the ability to connect with the positive. And by positive, I don't mean like, happy Pollyanna. I mean positive as in what your heart really says to you. The wounding is not reality. The healing from the wound is reality, but the wounding is not reality. And sometimes wounds happen so that we can actually become even stronger. I'm reading about hikers on the Appalachian Trail right now, and that's a common thing that's happening as they get injured. And there was one person in particular where someone was helping him, and she said, you know what? Your ankle is going to be even stronger than it was before. And that gave him not only hope, but it gave him also a lot of inspirational encouragement to keep going, because if you don't believe that, then you start to believe, well, every step I take on a broken ankle or on a hurt ankle is going to make it worse and worse and worse. It's going to be weaker and weaker and weaker. This is about understanding that when something is broken, it can be healed as well. All right. And I'm not getting into the literal of, yes, you should walk on a broken ankle. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm just saying when something is broken, it's broken in order to be put back together so it's more beautiful. There's a Japanese art form, and I cannot remember what it's called, but they take a beautiful pot and then, or like a earthware, stoneware, pottery, there we go, and they break it and then they glue it back together with gold paint, or they paint the glue cracks with gold to say that actually this broken pot ends up more beautiful. That's what's happening with us. Okay, we're being broken, we're being fractured, we're being kind of torn apart in order to be put back more beautiful than before. And that's exactly what the rest of these cards are talking about. This is a spiritual growth process of going down to our depths, going down to the darkness that is in us. Darkness is a lot of different things. It can be self-sabotage. It can be harm to the self in terms of thoughts that we think, limiting thoughts that we think, damaging thoughts that we think, allowing toxic relationships, our neediness, our codependence, our fear that we're unlovable. There's a lot of different dark stuff that this could be, and there's more dark that I haven't talked about. But the point of this is that we have to break and fracture the ego in order to rebuild the true light, so that the light of the soul can shine through the light of the personality. And that's really what I have dedicated my spiritual life to doing for myself and to help others to do this, either through these videos or for working one-on-one, is to understand that we come in with all of these dysfunctional ego patterns, and we have to unravel and break them down so that we can rebuild them in a way that's constructive for us, constructive for our soul purpose, and constructive for the heart energy to get out of us and to help rebuild the world through healing ourselves and others at the same time. So this is big stuff. This is big kind of esoteric stuff. And I don't know that this reading is going to solve anything per se, but in giving you this clarity, it also can help you move through what you're going through. Okay, Hanged Man, Knight of Cups, a lot of watery energy, meeting the Hermit, meeting the Five of Wands. Okay, this is kind of a look before you leap vibe. Okay, see the Hermit is kind of stopping or asking that Knight of Cups to reflect on what's going on. This does feel a bit like a warning to me. So let me get very clear on what this is about. Yeah, this is about, I think there's going to be a moment where you're feeling really comfortable. You're feeling really comfortable with the way things are going and how things are opening up. And you're going to allow that openness, someone to come forward towards you in that openness. And perhaps because you're feeling so like in the flow and comfortable, you say, yes, let's go forward. So let's go forward with this relationship, or let's go forward with this, whatever they're suggesting. And the Hermit says, well, just hang on a second. Let's look at this a little deeper. Let's go a little, before you jump into this situation, before you say yes, let's really look at what's going on. Are you going to be able to hold on to your center? Are you going to be able to stay collected and to stay aligned if you keep going where this person is asking you to go? All right, and if the answer is no, this is the Virgo card, so a boundary is necessary. But if the answer is yes, then just keep in mind that you need to stay collected and grounded. I think there's more in there, so just give me a second while I connect. All right, this is a little bit difficult to say, but I think there's going to be someone that you want to help that you just can't because of what they're choosing. And is this, how close is this person? Okay, it's going to vary. Okay, don't lose sight of your own path just because the other person doesn't want your help at this time, or just because the other person can't rise to where you are. They're choosing the more chaotic path. They're choosing the more difficult path where the change, where they're going to invite an outside circumstance that kind of forces them to deal with chaos. So they're learning this the hard way, I think is what I'm saying. And your job is to let them do that. Don't feel bad that you couldn't help them or they didn't want your help. Just allow them to have their own path. This is also kind of a protective energy here. The Hermit going back to the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups wants to just push and surge forward, but the Hermit is like, no, let's wait a second here. So make sure that you don't accumulate any karma by feeling guilty or feeling bad about this. Okay, because when we do feel bad or guilty, we're holding on to karma. Just recognize this as the different free wills. Your free will, their free will. Honor and respect both of those. I don't think this is going to cause a rift per se, but this is just, they need to go this route for now. Okay, this is a lovely card to end. This entire reading, we've really been talking about the essence of being whole and the essence of healing. And that is something we really need to keep in mind, that our job is to really heal ourselves. And for most of us, that involves healing the self. For some, it involves helping others heal so that the self can heal as well. But yeah, I think it's going to go both ways. I'm not going to say the but. But it's our journey to become more healthy. It is our journey to become more complete. But in saying that, we already know how to be healthy. We already know how to be complete on some level. Our soul already knows how to do that. It's just that our ego, Ten of Swords, has to catch up to the soul in order to do that. And this is the integration of both. This is the ego finally turning around and understanding its place in the soul's world. Understanding that the ego is the personality vehicle through which the soul gets its work done, but that the ego defers to the soul. The ego says yes to the soul. The ego says, oh, this is where you want me to go? Okay, that's where I'm going to want to go. And it requires a lot of trust. It requires a lot of courage. But these are really opportune times that we're having, and it's very important that we do not get distracted from our own work, from our own path. Okay, so that's the thought I want to leave you with. Just stay strong in your own lane and allow everyone else to sort out things at their own pace. Look at them with compassion and with empathy, but stay in your own lane, stay in your own nest. Because what you're creating is of the utmost importance right now. And the more that we support and create our own health, the more we actually encourage the rest of the world to do so, even if we're not actively engaging with other people in a healing way. We bring different energy, different vibration into the world. And so you can do a lot staying in your own path. You can do tremendous amounts staying in your own path and uplifting through example. Okay? So it's still it's still an important thing for you to do. If you've been resisting some of what I've been saying, it's important to look at that, because there's still a conflict going on between the head and the heart, or the ego and the soul. Okay. And really, this card is kind of the essence of this whole reading, starting with the Five of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, is that our hearts know we are capable of so much more, and yet our heads tell us we are not. And our hearts look at the world in a much more inclusive, expansive, loving, embracing way. Our heads look for division and competition, and right versus wrong, and hierarchies, conflict. And some of these may be very, very strong for you right now, maybe very, very in your face right now. But the path forward is through the heart, not through the head. And that means opening up, opening the heart. So allowing this region to receive and give energy. So heart opening meditations, heart opening visualizations can be really helpful to you right now. I have one that I like to do where it actually comes from the Sabrina Raber book, Raising Your Vibration. And you bring in white light to all the different chakras. So you bring into your crown. So first you envision the color of your crown chakra, purple, and then you envision white energy clearing it out. Then you envision it purple again, and you move through. So indigo for the third eye, turquoise for the throat, or light blue, and then green for the heart. Then if you want to keep going down your body, it's yellow for the solar plexus, orange for the sacral chakra, and then red for the root. So this is a big collective healing of the heart versus the mind, collective healing of the following the heart and the soul versus following the ego and the confusion that comes with that. All right, so everyone is dealing with this in a slightly different way, but it all comes back to the same thing. And I believe we came down at this time to specifically heal our hearts, because so many of us are working on this together. The potential for a collective kind of uplift in energy when everyone gets it is going to be enormous. It's like like a nuclear bomb, but in a good way. It spreads, it ripples, it expands. But that is a good thing, not the devastation. So we're all working on this together. We're all going to be powerfully together through this. So just keep in mind, when you make a few steps forward, you're actually helping other people. Other people are walking forward too. It's not just about you. Okay. Is there anything else that wants to come through for us? Remember that you are truly and deeply loved. Remember that you are truly and deeply loved by your soul, by your higher self, by your guides, by anyone on the other side that has crossed, and by animals and your companions in this life. You are deeply loved. If you are feeling disconnected from that, just know that the wrong part of you is in charge, and you need to switch somehow through your activities or through wherever what you're focused on to that space of feeling loved, that you are incredibly loved, you are needed, and you have a very specific reason and purpose why you're here right now. All right, and with that, I wish you so much expansion and so much encouragement with this process, with this progress that we're all endeavoring to make at this time. If you would like a personal reading, please reach out to soulguidancewithAdriana.com. As always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and I will look forward to seeing you soon on another video.